If you do go on to enjoy today's video, do me a favour and hit that like button and of course subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com, and of course you can use the code TVM at checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. It is another week of Team of the Week review. This is of course the in-game stats version of the video. Yesterday we sat down and had an initial look at the Team of the Week and maybe a little rant. There's not really going to be any ranting of sorts as to why players don't deserve to be there and so on and so forth in this video. We may rant about certain stats. That could be a thing. I've not looked at any of them yet, so I've got no idea how good or bad these players are. And at the end, we may or may not compare one or two of the higher rated ones to their predecessors and see if the upgrade was even remotely worth it. Silver card up first. We won't spend too long on it. Let's be honest. No, I mean, that's a striker. And apart from the strength and maybe the heading, although he doesn't have any... He's 6'6", so as a novelty, maybe. But anything else, you're never going to use it. Burke, left forward. We don't have many of those straight out of packs. I mean, instantly unusable because the stamina is only 72. And let's be honest, the rest of it isn't going to fill you with confidence. If you're a fan of the club, you know, great, you've got a gold card. But it's not really usable, is it? I mean, that's just... I'll only mention this once. 75 rated informs, even silver informs, they don't have a place in FIFA anymore. They used to, but not now that it's just super competitive and everyone's looking for the meta edge. I don't think there should be a card, special item, not a card in general, but a special item in FIFA that's less than 80 rated. I think if you get an inform, you go to 80 rated regardless of what you started out life at, unless maybe you're a bronze and then maybe you go to a 75 rated gold and then the next step is 80. But I just think cards like this is just like it's good for the person who supports that club, because yeah, we've got a special card, we never really get one, and it's a gold card. That's awesome because the rest of the players, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that they're all bronze because I think it's the Irish League. So the fact that, you know, maybe a few silver, but you know, the fact that they've got a gold is amazing, but it's not usable, so what's the point, right? Let's move on. David. Now, this is 80 rated. This is the bare minimum you'd expect. It's not a terrible card in sort of many regards. It's not great, let's be honest. The stamina is still going to cause you problems. 5-star weak foot is immense. That is very, very good. 86 finishing. Does he have another special card as well? I feel like he does for some reason. What's his height? 5'10"? Maybe. I don't know. The height's got nothing to do with the other special card. I just had a thought. Decent sprint speed. Okay finishing. I mean, the actual finishing stat itself is good. The rest of it is meh. The passing isn't very good. But for an 80 rated card, honestly, that's quite solid across the board. Gortler. Centre midfield player with 79 passing. Physicals are fantastic for a 75 rated card. Now imagine that had +5 on everything. And it was an 80 rated overall. Because that's how I believe in-game stats should work, right? I mean, he should have a +5 on... Maybe not on pace, but he should definitely have a +5 on his passing. Like, everything in that passing department goes up by +5. In my opinion, everything in the dribbling department goes up by +5. Physicals are good where they are. Maybe boost them up by 2 or 3. Acceleration by 2 or 3. Bump the shooting and the defensive stats up by maybe 2 or 3. And then whack him up to 80 rated. And all of a sudden... that's actually a pretty damn good card. As it stands, it's not terrible. For a 75, that's okay. But it's not, still, again, not really usable. Let's move on to Penner. I think he got a hat-trick, this guy. Not really shown, or reflected, I should say, in the finishing. 69 finishing for a player who is in form because he scored 3 goals. I mean... I'm going to have a look. I won't show you because it's pointless, right? But I just want to know. He was a 70 rated card before this. That's his base card. So he's gone up by 8 overall. His finishing is up by 9. Now, don't get me wrong. 9 overall upgrade, considering he went up by 8, is actually quite good. However, he scored a hat-trick, meaning you'd expect his finishing to be pretty damn good. But his shot power long shots went up by 11 and 10. So why can they go up by 11 and 10, but the finishing, the main attribute he's been awarded this inform for, has only gone up by 9? Bit weird. And Bai Niang, For a striker, again, 78 finishing isn't ideal. You'd maybe want to bump that to 81. I don't understand why they just don't give him 81. A lot of people will still find this card unusable because of the reactions and the composure. I don't think it would be too bad. 4-star weak foot as well is quite good. He's 6'2", to be fair, so you're not really going to get... I mean, he's 87 agility for a 6'2" player is good. The stamina on this card is horrendous. But, you know, maybe as an impact sub or something, if you're a fan of starred René, maybe. Composure, I think many people are going to be annoyed by it, but honestly, I don't really feel like it does anything this year, so... You need to bump that finishing. You're going to need a chem style, but yeah. Like Remy, now this is a pointless card, not because it's not very good, although... Stamina. He has a player moments card, which I would imagine most people did because it was super cheap. If you didn't do it, you're probably not interested in this card. That's, I think, the way that it goes. So I don't... I mean, he scored 2 goals in what was like a, 3-0, 3-1 win. So he deserves to be there. But because they've already given him a special card that's higher rated than this and was probably the same price as what this is to buy, I just don't understand the point in giving it to him. If you like Remy, you would have done the 85 rated version for the same price. You're not going to go, right, well, I won't do that, but I'll pick up the inform. Like, who's using this? No one. Exactly. Move on to Marusic, a guy that I admire in real life. Pretty cheap on the old football index if you're interested. Very well-rounded considering he's a right mid. 4-star weak foot again is good. 6'1". Very good pace. Great long shot power for an 81 rated card. I mean, agility-wise, horrendous, but he's 6'2". What do you expect, right? I mean, as a right mid, it's not going to be an easy card to use in that position, but if you move him into sort of like a central midfield role, use him as like a box-to-box almost, bump up that passing by giving him some sort of like artist or something, I don't know, maybe even a powerhouse would work, and then you bump up that defensive stat as well, you'd actually have a pretty decent box-to-box midfielder. And, of course, every card we're talking about so far, including this new one now, Makis, all of these cards are going to be discard value up until we get to like the last 2 or 3 of the starting 11. Excellent pace, excellent agility and balance. 4-star, 4-star, 5'9". I tell you what, that is the first card we're coming to, apart from maybe that 75 rated card I looked at, which I thought was kind of alright in terms of physicals. This is the first card that we've really come to that has good enough building blocks to warrant maybe giving a go. I did it last week with that Italian, I can't remember his name, but he was actually quite good because he's got good building blocks. I think Makis has got good building blocks. He's going to need a passing boost. I'm not saying it's a great card, but he's going to need a passing boost. But because that dribbling is 85, he's got insane acceleration and sprint speed, but also the best agility and balance you can get, more or less. His reactions are going to be fine. There's going to be nothing wrong with that at all. The stamina will let him down in the cam roll. And, of course, his passing will, unless we can improve it, which I will do. I will literally throw an artist on him and he should be fine. I'm going to use that. I think that could be a good card. Nkunku, very well-rounded. Again, box-to-box midfielder if you're a fan of the player. But otherwise, I don't think you're going to be that bothered by it. I mean, again, he's got reasonably good building blocks in terms of short passing, ball control, dribbling, mediocre defensive stats. I say mediocre. They're average for a sort of a central midfield player. If you want to boost them, you know, you'll get into the high 80s there, which is quite good. But I don't see anyone. I mean, again, it's a good card. He should have like 3 or 4 informs by now. That's the bittersweet thing, really. Yes, it's a decent card, and finally he's got one. But this should be his 3rd inform. It's not bad. It's very well rounded, but I just don't see anyone really using it. Van Arnholt, again, very, very well rounded card, but he did get a winter refresh not that long ago. I don't know how much that winter refresh actually costs. Would be very interested to see the price. I mean, this is an 81. That was an 84. His next inform could potentially be an 83. Maybe. It could go to an 84. I don't know. The winter refresh is 125 to 130,000 coins. This is under 30k. So if you can't afford the winter refresh, maybe just to get a taste of Van Arnholt, then maybe you'll be interested in this. That is surprising. Oh, what the hell have they done there? Well, I tell you what. Sell. That's mad. I mean, how can they get away with that? Sell the winter refresh right now. Get it gone before people realise this. Go buy the inform. If you are using that winter refresh and you have it tradable, get it gone and go buy the inform. You're not going to believe this. I'm going to show you, in fact, because this is unreal. Now, here we are on Footbin with, I can't believe this, with his winter refresh card, right? As you can see, 130,000 on PlayStation, 124 on Xbox, PC's not too far away either, right? That's a lot of money. The inform, 27.5, 28,000, 29,000, basically under 30k, right? Why am I so outraged? Look at the state of this. Let's have a look. Hover that over. Now, we're doing a comparison between the winter refresh and the inform. And if we make it a little bit bigger here, we can see a bit easier. There we go. So you can see on the pace, nothing different at all. Shooting, nothing different. Dribbling, bottom left, nothing different. The only three the only three things that are different: passing, defending, and physical. And the interesting thing is the inform has better physicals than the winter refresh card. So if we have a look first then at the passing, the winter refresh card has one better passing across the board than the inform. One. So we're talking one vision, one crossing, one short passing, so on and so forth, right? And if you don't know, it's a little bit confusing, but those are the stats of the winter refresh. And if I hover over this, then it goes and shows me the stats of the inform. And then when you can see like the -6 in defending, it basically says the inform is worse off by 6. As you can see that the stats change there. The interesting thing is, yeah, okay, he has 6 worse off stats in terms of defensive capability, but he's actually better in terms of physical. This is an 81 rated card, and he's got better physicals than his 84 rated card that costs like 3 or 4 times the amount. Literally, the only difference there is the 6 defending. Now, 6 defending sounds like a lot, and to be fair, it is. But if we switch into the inform, right, here we go. So we've just switched into the inform. That's the stats on it. I mean, bang. We've just fixed the problem, and you've got a better card than the winter refresh. Now, okay, you can argue, and this argument is 100% warranted and justified. I get it. If I did that with the winter refresh and I gave a backbone to the winter refresh card, we would have 99 slide tackle, 98 stand tackle, we'd have 95 defensive awareness, we'd have 77 heading, which is awful anyway, and we'd have 86 interceptions, right? Okay, fine, but is that enough to warrant having a card that literally costs 100,000 coins more than this one? And bear in mind, I am recording this 5 hours after the Team of the Week has been released. In fact, it's not even 5 hours, it's 4.5, just under. So, tomorrow, or today, as you're watching this, Rewards Day, this is likely to be 15k. Winter Refresh card ain't going to come down, that's going to stay the same, because that's been out of packs for a little while now. So, this card tomorrow, or today, sorry, as you're watching this, is probably around 15 to 20,000 coins, which is quite literally 100,000 coins less than that winter. I cannot get over that. What a pathetic upgrade or downgrade or whatever it is. I mean, that is embarrassing as far as EA are concerned. They've got a winter refresh card there that they've released that is actually not that much better, if at all, than the 81. What happens if Van Aanholt gets himself another inform? They'd have to bump it to an 84 and make it basically the same card. They can't give him an 83 because then the 83 would be better. The fact that they haven't upgraded the acceleration, the dribbling, the shooting on this winter refresh card compared to what that is shocking. I mean, they genuinely don't know what they're doing. It's mad. I'm enraged. Muslera, who shouldn't be there, it should be Donk. 84 rated card. Nobody's going to use it. Let's move on. Aitor, he should be there. I mean, to be fair, Muslera did, make a couple of saves and what have you, so I'm not going to argue that. But Donk got a goal and assist as a centre-back, and they won 3-1. Technically speaking, neither of them kept a clean sheet, so why is he there over Donk? Exactly. Aitor. Would have with a basic chem style, and if you are still putting chem styles on your goalkeepers, have a word with yourself. Basic chem style takes him up to 95 95 diving, 94 handling, 86 kicking, 97 reflexes, 71 Well, actually, technically speaking, no, it'd be 69 speed and 95 positioning. If you were to give him a chem style, he would only have half of what I just said. So don't put chem styles on your goalkeepers. Let us be moving on to ZAGADOU. Now, this card, if you just look from right-hand side and block out the left completely, not bad. Defensive awareness is a little bit low. Give him a chem style, bump that up. Stand tackle's brilliant already. Not bad. But then the further left we go, the worse it gets. I mean, the state of the acceleration sprint speed gap is absolutely embarrassing. On a centre-back, acceleration is a very important stat. 55, but he has 75 sprint speed. How can someone have 75 sprint speed and 55 acceleration? That doesn't make any sense. 20 difference between the two. That's shocking. That kind of makes it pointless in itself, really. Reactions aren't very good. For an 82 rated card, you could argue that it's not bad, but no one's going to use it because of that gap between the acceleration and the sprint speed. Palois. Now, aside from the fact that he quite literally doesn't deserve to be there in the slightest, it should be a silver card by the name of Bamba. Not that any of you really care, but I just want to point out. His acceleration is even worse. The gap between the two actually isn't that bad. It's only 9, which is still quite bad, but still, when your acceleration is 49, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Again, unless you're playing one drop back, I don't think you're going to be interested in this card, which is a bit of a shame, because he's got 98 strength, 96 aggression, and he has pretty damn good defensive stats considering he's only 84 rated, but the legs and the reactions just mean that nobody's going to be interested in that at all. We move on to Nacho Monreal. It's a strange-ish one, because as a centre-back, actually not bad. He's 5'11", but in this game that's fine, because you don't need to head the ball ever. Decent reactions. Composure could be better. Great defensive stats. Again, we don't care about the heading. His strength is low, actually, for a centre-back. In fact, for a right-back, for a left-back, you wouldn't be interested because he doesn't have any pace. And then as a centre-back, he doesn't have any strength, so it's kind of, you know, bad swings, bad roundabouts. Let's move on to Koke. This looks like an okay card. A Koke card. So, okay, doesn't have legs again. Many people are going to be whinging about that, and I'm fine one to be talking about whinging. This video is really going downhill fast. But, good short passing. Decent reactions and composure with relatively good ball control. Very well-rounded, great stamina. It just lacks key fundamentals, really. I mean, as far as a box-to-box midfielder goes, I'm sure people would like more agility. You're going to want a little bit more pace. His finishing is a touch on the low side. The vision might need bumping up a little bit. There's just too many things wrong with this for an 86 rated card. It kind of needed to be a little bit better in terms of like an even upgrade, if that makes sense. I don't know. Fernando. Not a bad CDM, really. Great defensive stats and physical stats to boot as well. Considering this is an 84 rated card, I don't mind that. Short passing is good enough just to get it out of there as well. Tell him to drop between the defenders, meaning you don't need pace, really. Again, the reactions and the ball control, maybe a little bit on the low side for what you want here, but that's not a terrible card. Bruno Fernandes. Now, in real life, great player. In FIFA, I mean, I'm sure he'd be okay. He wouldn't be a bad card. You've got some nice attributes there. I mean, relatively quick, not too slow. It's edging on the side of, yeah, bit nippy. I like it. Good stamina. Strength's a touch on the low side, but I don't really pay too much attention to that. Composure's good. Ball control's good. Dribbling's good. Reactions are actually not that bad. Agility could do with a boost, definitely, because that's obviously the meta. We kind of need that in this game. Good short passing. Again, could be better if you're going to use him as a cam. You might want to look into bumping that up. Does an artist bump up the... Yeah, I mean, artist, you get 10 agility, so that takes him up to 91. You get 5 on balance, takes him up to 87. That's good enough for me. You do get a ball control dribbling boost as well. We don't really need to bump up the reactions and the composure. I'd be alright with it. And then you get a nice 15 vision. You don't need that, but still. But you also then get... you only get 5 short passing. Takes him up to 93, I suppose. I mean, I wouldn't turn it away. I don't know what you'd want to do here, really. I mean, engine, I guess, wouldn't be... Yeah, engine, 5 vision. You don't need much more vision than that. You get 10. No, you get 5. I don't know. I don't know what I would do with this. Either an engine or... I probably wouldn't go Maestro. Either an engine or an artist, I think I'd probably go with. probably an artist because I'd want more agility than anything else. But on the whole, I don't think that's bad. The problem with it is it's 400,000 coins as I'm recording this, so that is the downside. Kolarov, that's a banging card if you either put a shadow on him or you're willing to play him out of position as a centre-back. You could argue playing him out of position as a CDM, to be fair, because he does have relatively good sort of midfield qualities. His passing could do with a boost, but everything else is immense. I mean, drop between the two centre-backs if you do use him as a CDM, but to be honest, playing him off chem as a centre-back could be the play. Cheeky little shadow on him, bump up that pace, and wow, what a card. And he's super cheap as well. He's about 35, 40k right now, which is crazy good. Moving on to Cordoba. I do like the look of this guy. It's just a shame that this didn't come out last year. I mean, maybe it did, but you know what I mean. It's a shame that the meta just doesn't suit this guy at all this year, whereas last year this would have been an absolutely banging card. 6'2", 3-star, 3-star, which last year would have been irrelevant. High work rates you don't care about because 82 heading accuracy, 85 jumping, but the strength on him, I mean, 95 strength, 98 aggression. He'd be so good in the air, especially if you bumped them up with the chem style. But this year, you can maybe use it to hold it up. If you're a fan, hold the ball up. If you're a fan of Cologne, you can use it and have a bit of fun with it. But I wouldn't say, oh, this is a competitive card. It's one for the fans more than anything else. Have a bit of fun with it. Bring him off the bench. Use him in squad battles, that kind of thing. Let's move on to Robert Lewandowski. He is out for a month, injured, which has hit my football index very hard indeed. Clinical striker. I mean, his headline is, 94 now? So there is a better version than this already because of the headliner. Very, very good card. I would imagine he's very expensive. Not really meta, but to be fair, you can kind of make him meta. You can boost that agility up quite considerably, and you can get that up to about 92. You don't really need to bump up the finishing. So if you can get a pace and agility boost, I don't know if that's actually possible, maybe with the engine chem style. I mean, with the engine chem style, you can get 5 extra on the pace, takes it to 88. And you could get 5 on agility, which takes it to 87. Your balance goes up by 10 as well, 96. And you do get a nice run across the board there. And as well as your passing, engine could be the play on that card. I would love to know how good that is. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see. Robert Lewandowski. No, that's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And it is, in fact, our last card. I'd be interested to use this because I don't know how good Aubameyang is this year. I would imagine, looking at those stats, he's actually not that great because the agility is absolutely horrendous. So is the balance, but something tells me the card actually wouldn't be too bad. Is it me, though, right? Just ignore the fact that this is Aubameyang for a second. Is it me, or are those stats just a little bit weak in general? I don't know. I'm looking at him thinking, really? An 89 rated card? Shouldn't that be a bit higher? You know, bump his passing up to maybe 82. Vision with the same. Balance up to 75. Agility up to 82, 83. Ball control up a little bit more. Dribbling definitely needs to go up. He's much better dribbler on the ball than 81. Maybe bump that stamina up as well. Why not? Take it up to 85. I mean, I just think that that's a little touch on the... A little touch? I just think it's a touch on the low side for an 89 rated card. I just feel like it should be higher. He has a headliner though, doesn't he? So maybe the headliner looks a little bit better. I don't know. I would imagine that card's quite expensive. Bearing in mind I'm on PC. He probably isn't even on the market. In your own time, game. I mean, at the moment, he's 450k on PC. Robert Lewandowski is around 350, which is not too bad. And Bruno Fernandes is extinct. But I think if I had to pick the bargain of the whole team of the week, it would be Alexander Kolarov. I think this guy for between 35 and 40k is an absolute steal. That is such a good card for such a low price. Honestly, even if you play him on 7 chem, he's still going to be great. He really is going to be a good card. Just give him a shadow, play him on 7 chem. You don't get the full boost, but you get enough that you'll have a little bit of pace boost, and he'll be phenomenal as a centre-back. My hidden gem, I think, is either going to be this guy, Gortler, who has great physicals and decent building blocks, but I think I'm going to give it to Makis. Makis is my hidden gem in this week's Team of the Week. Again, decent building blocks. You might be a little bit miffed by the stamina and strength, but with the right chem style, could turn into a pretty capable either cam or centre mid. I'd probably use him as a cam, to be fair. I'm gonna pick him up. I'm going to use him, and I'm going to give you a verdict. Look out for the video. Let me know what you think of the team of the week in the comment section down below. If you have enjoyed today's video and you enjoy this sort of analysis of the team of the week, then do me a favour, hit the like button, and I will continue to do it. Subscribe to the channel, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.